Hi, Chuku here, and today I'm just going to show you guys 10 features in the new Davinci Resolve version 10. Now, the public beta has been seeded out a couple of days ago during the early part of IBC, so you could just head on to the Resolve, the Blackmagic Design website, and you could just download it and just try it. Just a little word of advice: you might not want to use this for any kind of serious work, because it is beta and it is also the first beta that also another thing that I realized is that at least for the light version, it seems now you could work in projects that are beyond 1080. Okay, so you could go all the way up to 4K Ultra HD, which is awesome. Also, a new addition to the version 10 is now you could use more than one graphic card. So those of you who want to use double GPUs for performance reasons, you could do that now. Okay, so let's just step into it and get right into it. Okay, in the project manager page, nothing really has changed. Only thing is the addition of this folder button here, so you could just basically add folders. All right, so this is you might not see the need for this or why this is awesome, but for guys like us who work in the commercial and feature film circles, you know, if you have hundreds and hundreds of reels, trust me, you will need something like a folder to make sure that you organize. Okay, when I have a scrub here, you can see that it's actually showing that I'm in the 4K Ultra HD project. Okay, so I was online, and mind you, I'm in the light version. Okay, awesome. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just dive right into the new features, and as you guys can see, we have a brand new renamed Edit tab. Okay, and I believe the reason why it was named Edit tab is because Blackmagic Design is trying to make Resolve a very robust finishing tool, so you could basically do online edit and finishing at the same time. Now, as you guys can see, we don't have anything here. All right, but I actually have a sequence that I cut in Avid and I sent out an AF, so I have to conform it here to show you guys. But before I do that, let me just go bring an offline image that was rendered out from my Avid, just to make sure that you know, my sequence, my conform sequence matches up and everything is good. Okay, so I brought it in here. So this is my offline render from my Avid. So I'm going to go ahead and just import that AF from my Avid and conform the sequence. Open. I'm going to go ahead and just uncheck automatically import source clips, because I already have those in there, and I'll say OK, and I get your regular you know, information here telling me what is going on with the conform. Okay, so this is my edit from Avid Media Composer. Okay, and usually what I'll do is I'll make sure that I match the conformed timeline with my offline, which is rendered from Avid. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and link to my offline reference, and I'll toggle it on. Okay, and instead of just going ahead and playing the whole long sequence, I'm just going to be checking this with my edit points. So if my edit points matches up, that means that the conform was you know, the conform came in right. Okay, so far all my edit points, or some of you say your cut points, are matching up. So I know that my conform is correct, and I'm ready to go ahead and online and also finish this sequence. Okay, so I could go ahead and turn this off because it's just going to be my way. All right, so now these the AF is just linked to the original 4K Red Epic images. And by the way, this is from the newest motion picture directed by Kinsio Cable. This actually was shot on the Red Epic in Africa, and actually doing the edit and finishing of this film. Okay, beautiful story. Alright, so let's just go ahead and dive into the brand new tools that we have here. The first I'm going to talk about is the editing tools. Okay, earlier when I told you guys how Blackmagic Design wants to make this a very robust online editing application, and surprisingly, with these tools they can. Okay, so let's just say right now, sometimes if you're working on, like, you know, in the commercial and, you know, the broadcast circles, you know that most of the time a lot of we editors, we don't lock our cuts, and The reason being that we have this kind of notion that, hey, once the sequence is, you know, color graded and the VFX and everything goes through, we could still get it back into our Avid and whatever box that we're working on to, you know, tweak it, you know. But Resolve is adding these tools here, whereby you don't need to go back to Avid, you don't need to go back to Final Cut or Premiere. You could do all of that here. So you have the trimming tools here. We have our double roller trim. Okay, so when I click on the edit point, okay, I could either add or subtract from my edit point, which is awesome. Okay, I also have the benefit of just A side trim, so I could trim just my A side. Okay, or I could trim my B side. Okay, awesome. Also, I have the ability when I select this tool here to slip and slide. Okay, oops. To slip a clip, what you do is you park on the top portion of the frame, click on it, and you could just slip. So slipping basically is I'm going to be affecting the endpoint and endpoint of just that clip, but I'm not going to be changing the length of the whole sequence, and I'm not going to be affecting the clips that are about it. Okay, so as you could see on the right side, on the top right, I'm affecting the end or the outgoing frame of the shot here. Okay, so that is slipping. If I take that same tool and I go just a little bit below it, you see it changes to these another tool here, and this is just the slide. So I could just basically slide if I want to. Okay. So I mean, these are not groundbreaking, but in Resolve this is awesome because you never used to have this before. Okay, and of course you have your razor blade tool and your insert and override, which is great. Another thing that has also been added here is for those of you who edit in Final Cut Pro X, which is 10, we now have Inspector here in Resolve. So you could just select a clip, and it just give you some quick tools to affect, you know, do some transformation, maybe some panning or tilting or zooming, cropping. Okay, and my favorite of all is the speed change and the retime scaling. Okay, so let's just say, for example, this particular shot here, they're walking up. Director says, hey, I just want to, it's a romantic shot, you know, give them a little slow motion. I don't know why he want to do that, but hey, give them a slow motion. So I say, okay, fine, I could do that 25%. Okay, and I'll just go back to my retime process, and I'm going to choose optical flow, and this actually blends the frames quite beautifully. Okay, so that is a very neat feature right there. Okay, which is awesome. The second thing I want to talk about, the second biggest feature is the audio mixer tool. Okay, so not only do we have audio tracks. Okay, so now you have the ability to you know, you just have audio tracks here. Okay, so I could just basically import a mix. So let's just say the whole film is done. The sound department have a mix of the film. I could just bring it and import it and just underline it here in its own track. Okay, but not only do I have that, but I also have an audio mixer. Okay, so I could just do some mixing here the way I want to do it. If I take a look under my A1 track, I have the ability to do 16 tracks of audio, which is awesome. Okay, so that is a great added feature. Okay, while we are still on the edit page, I'm going to show you guys the latest title generators and these color bars. Okay, so the director says, hey, I need the title of the film in the shot here. Okay, so I'll say no problem, I'll do that for you. I'll just put it right on top here. Okay, step into my inspector and I'll just type the title. Okay, so I'll say see through me. Okay, that is not how it's spelled, but hey, we're just trying to hurry as much as we can. And it's just a basic title generator, so you have, you know, you could change your fonts, you could change the size of it if you want to, and shadows and the color. That's basically it. Okay, so basic stuff, nothing too fancy. Okay, awesome. And you have these other title generators, so feel free to play with them and, you know, see how best they can help you. Also, you have this color generators, you know, SMT, EBU, so forth. Okay, so that is basically it for the edit page. Okay, so we're going to go into our color, and I'm going to show you guys some other brand new tools here. The third feature that I'm going to talk about is the split screen. Okay, so I have these two shots here, and I'm not using my panels here, so you guys forgive me. And I'm not doing this grade for art. I'm just doing this to show you guys something. Okay, so I have this grade here. All right, I want to basically match this grade to this second shot here. Okay, right now in Resolve 10 you could do that easily. I'll go to my view, I'll say split screen, and I'll choose selected clips. So from here on, every clip that I control or command and select, I'm going to see it side by side. Okay, and I could do this with a lot more clips. Okay, so now I have these 3 clips here, and whichever one that I decide to work on, whichever one with the bounding box is the one that I'll be working on. Okay, so I could decide to just go ahead and just start to match that up as much as I can. Okay, and I could just do that for all of them. Okay, and you have unlimited. I could just command click and just keep adding as many as I want. Okay, awesome. So I'll go ahead and turn that off. Okay, since we are still here under my view, another addition to the light box is now if I go into my light box, I have the ability to show my color controls. That's awesome. Okay, so I could just basically go ahead and right in my light box start doing some tweaking to the shot if I have to. Okay, and I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to run through this as quick as I can so I don't waste your time. Okay, the next thing I also want to show you guys, which is now going to be the fourth feature, is versioning. Okay, so I have a shot here. Okay, let me just do a very extreme grade here, just to make sure that there is a distinction. Director says, just show me something different. So I'll say, okay, I'll add a version. In this version, I'll make a serial node. Okay, and I'll say, okay, just take out some of that hotness, make it cool. Okay, make it more contrasty. Okay, it says, okay, show me something else. I say, okay, let me do another one. So I'll say, add another version. Okay, in this version, I'll add another serial. This time, I'm just gonna suck out some saturation from this. Okay, make sure it's not too contrasty, and I'll just make this a little greenish. Okay, so I have 3 versions. So now I'm done with the grade. The director say, okay, now I need to be able to pick which one that I want. Okay, how do I do that? Easy. Now in Resolve version 10, I go on my view, I say split screen, and I choose versions. So now I could see all my versions side by side. And mind you, this also goes on out to your output monitor. So you can actually see it on your SDI monitor or whichever reference monitor you have. So they could just look at it side by side and choose. Okay, awesome feature. The next thing I also want to show you guys is in Windows. Okay, everybody like Windows. So let me go ahead and delete these nodes here. Let's reset this in. Okay. So I'll go ahead and just make everybody love curves. Awesome. So now in the Windows version or the Power Mask, okay, you could now add, multiple masks in just one node. Okay, couldn't do that before. Now you can. Okay, so I have this node here. All right. Or let me just go ahead and create a second node, a third node, a serial. Okay, and I'll just create a circular node for the face. Okay, and I'll go ahead and drag this in. Awesome. Okay, Now with this new version, I have the ability to go ahead and add another one in the same node. So I could just click on the plus sign here, create another circular node. I'll say, okay, let me just put this for I. Okay, and since I'm here, we're talking about multiple windows. I'm going to show you guys another feature in my power window. If I go back to the first power mask that I created, I could go ahead and copy the truck data, and now I could go ahead and paste it on this new one that I created and say paste. Okay, so that is pasted. You're going to see both of them move together. Awesome. Okay, so I don't have to go ahead and track everything else in. They move and stay together. Okay, so this is another welcome feature in Resolve 10. Okay, so this we spoke about the multiple windows in a node and also copying and pasting tracking data. Okay, so that is 6 features. Okay, I'm counting. I'm not trying to give you guys too much to handle. Okay. The 7th one I'm going to talk about is the ability to grade per channel in the node. Okay, so I could just choose this particular one here, create a serial node. In version 10, you could now right click and you have the ability to change a color space of a node. And mind you, this is node based, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter I could decide to work in a different color space on this node here. So let's just say I want to work in YUV for this node, but this node here I'll work in RGB. Okay, which is awesome. So you could just create some really stylized look doing this. Not only that, you also have the ability to turn off channels. Okay, so you have your RGB. I could decide to say, okay, depending on the color space, right now I'm in RGB, so if I turn off the second channel, I know I'm turning off green. Okay, and I'm turning off blue. So right now, whatever change that I make to this node is going to affect just my red channels. Okay, as you can see, as I'm lifting up the luminance on this wheel here, I'm affecting just the red channels, and the reds are being boosted. If I go ahead and I say let me desaturate, I'm desaturating just the red channels, so everything else is being left the same. So this is a very, very awesome feature, because I could just basically create some really stylized looks that way. Alright, so you now have the ability to grade per channel, or you could change the color space as much as you want, and this is per node. Okay, so you're not limited to what you could do. The 8th thing that I want to talk about is the 9th, I'm sorry, because I spoke about the color space conversion in the node, and also the ability to turn off channels. So the 9th thing that I want to talk about is this brand new split combiner node here. So right now on the node, I could say add split combiner, and the split combiner acts like what I just showed you guys, but you could just be creative and do some stuff with this. So I could just say this one here, turn off my green and blue channels. Okay, for this one, turn off my red and green channels, and for this node, turn off my red and green channels. Okay, so now when I select this here, I know that I'm just going to be affecting the red channels as usual with what I showed you guys. Okay, but where this actually shines is that if you go into your sizing, okay, there is now a third option. At first you just had the input sizing and the output sizing, but now there is node sizing. So now I could size within a node. I could change, I could just do the sizing within a node. Okay, so right now if I decide to do any sizing change in this node here, which is now looking at my red channel, I could just do some stylized stuff. So as you could see, I'm just moving my red channel and I'm just panning that. Okay, and I could say, okay, the next node here, which is my green channel, okay, pan that to the left. Okay, and you could go ahead and start creating some really stylized kind of look. Okay, zoom this in. Okay, so this is a very, very great thing to do. I mean, at first you could do this, but it just required you creating these nodes and figuring out where that goes and where this other goes. But right now it's just one click of a button in there. Okay. The last and the final thing I want to talk about is the added addition that I believe everyone, as a matter of fact, I was one of the guys, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was one of the guys who will always just send out these messages to Blackmagic Design to add OFX plugins, okay, because coming from a nuke background, I know exactly how important it was to have OFX plugins. And I've worked in other post houses where they utilize Assembly Scratch, where I see the power of the OFX plugins working. So I used to be one of those guys who were clamoring for it. And I know there were other guys who were following me, but I, used to really want them to do this. And, they did. So in this new version, you could actually add OFX plugins. So I have a node here that I created. I click on the FX, and I have a couple of them that I own here. Sapphire is one of the best ones that you could have. Okay, so you could just basically go ahead and just drag and drop a plugin onto a node, and you have the controls. You have the on-screen controls, just like in After Effects or whatever program you're using. Okay, or you have the inspector here where you could go ahead and just do what you have to do. Okay, and play it through. Okay, so this is very awesome to have these in Resolve version 9. All right, so I just hope I didn't bore you guys to death. I'm very sorry. I mean, I'm trying to rush this as quick as I can, but if I was rushing through things, forgive me. All right, if you really want to know dive deep into more of the features that are new in Resolve 10, and I mean, this is beta, so there's going to be more of those features added, hopefully by the time the final is ready. Okay, so you go head onto their website, Blackmagic Design website, and just download it and just play around with it. Okay, so thanks again for you guys tolerating me and enjoying this video, and I'll be back with more. All right, stay blessed.